away we go. Welcome back, everyone, to the Betting Lounge. I'm your host, Tyler Flesh, joined by a special guest, Steve Rodriguez. He is back. We're going to talk about the big fight that's going on right now, which is Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. Steve, how's it going, man?
Hey, doing well. Thanks. Always good to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Not a problem, man. We've been red hot lately on the boxing, so let's keep the vibes going. This is a big one, dude. This is
It's a little staticky over there.
what's that?
A little staticky, I think, maybe.
Yeah, it'll clear up, dude. I don't know why it does this, but sometimes the board has a hard time when like YouTube runs. So it'll fix out.
I remember you said that. That's right.
Yeah, is it better now or no?
Nah, it's fine though. I can hear you.
All right. Well, I'll ask you a question, then I'm gonna unplug my mic and plug it back in. So this is a big one. This is a lot of bad blood in this one for the first time for Canelo. I don't know. How do you feel about the fight in general, man?
Oh man, I'm so excited. Since the press conference they had out in California, it's just been anticipating like fight, like just nervous. Even watching the weigh-in yesterday is freaking nerve-wracking. Just like to ask Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson's like, I'm nervous because you just get so like adrenaline heated up, especially there if you're there live. Man, it's freaking insane.
Yeah, and because of the incident last time, they actually separated these guys back quite a bit.
Yeah, they did. They just had to like keep them back. And man, they were shit talking yesterday. It was awesome. It's great. It's great for boxing. It's great for the fans. It's great for the fighters. It's been great. The last two fights that Canelo's had, they're good and they're great, but they haven't been, and they've been hyped. It's Canelo. He's gonna sell, but they're really selling this one. Like this one's really like, man.
I'm stoked for tonight. I told you sent me a clip of a highlight video, and I said thanks. Now I just wasted $80 because I have to buy this fight now. It looks electric. I'm excited for it. Let's talk into the betting odds and the prospects. This one's a little difficult. Canelo is minus just money line is he's a minus 1,000. Like
1,100, I think.
He's down to 1,000 now. 1,000. I mean, you're not making anything off that. Like you put 100, you're getting $10 back.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, you'd have to put. Even if you put $10,000, you'd get, I don't know, 1,000 back maybe.
Let's check. I think you're right.
Yeah, it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, you get $1,000 back off 10.
Yeah, there's no. Why would you do that? I had a friend that did a bet like that in Las Vegas. He flew out to Las Vegas. He put 10 on Floyd Money Mayweather against, I forget who. He put 10 grand and got 3 grand back. So for him, it was winning, but he had that kind of money. So,
dude, I'm sorry, but I'm not sweating a bet of 10 grand for 3 grand back.
I'm not. It's a for sure, I guess, bet, but. I don't know. It's
nerve-wracking, right? Like you're like, he's gonna win, and then like one bad punch, you're like, oh no, like that's too much anxiety, too much stress. Yeah. I like the small wagers with the big payouts.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this. So, you have already placed one of your bets, and we'll talk about that in a second, and I will be posting that after this interview. But let's talk about, before we talk about yours, Canelo said this ends before the 8th.
Yeah, he said
knocking him out before
he said 7 or 9 recently. That's what he's been saying this week.
Okay, so do you believe him? Where do you lean?
I feel like he does want to do that. I think he's going to do his best. I think for your fans, let's take a look. I'm looking at this. So sold TKO, just as regular sold knockout TKO is 185, minus 185. So you really have to do the group betting. I think,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he would. Let's take a look here. I believe he is. I think for the fans, you're gonna have to go with knocking him out. Oh, did they take out the? One second, guys.
No, you have to hit more wagers. So the alternative group betting is this is what I'm on.
Yeah.
I believe him. I'm a fan. I'm going to take Canelo to finish the fight between rounds 7 and 12. That's
7
plus
12.
150 and 5.
Yeah, 7 through 12. That's a good one because you'll make money. You can do 7 through 9 if you really, really believe Canelo. That's 340, but I think it's gonna be 7 through 12.
Plus 340 on that one. The thing with boxing is that's hard, man. Like just to get 2 rounds. You know what I mean? That's some balls that I don't have.
Yeah, yeah. And Canelo can do it, but it's just like, man, you just don't know what the fight's gonna be like. The Caleb Plant's coming really, he's strong as fuck. He's so strong and like he's fast. So maybe his game plan during 7 through 9 is to like kind of run around, try not to get hit, really do, you know what I mean? Because he
Yeah.
knows he's coming up from 7 on up. So I
Now,
think he's gonna hit survival mode.
yeah, I'm with you. Now, the thing, and I was going to ask you about this. Do you have a little bit of hesitation on how much experience Canelo has over Plant? I mean, Canelo's fought 57 times. He's only lost once. He's 56-1. Plant is only 21-0. Plant has 11 knockouts. Canelo has 38. It's pretty close. Height wise, Canelo 5'9", Plant 6'1". Plant only has a 3-inch advantage on the reach with having 74 inches. Canelo only has 71. Are you worried about that? Does that play a factor in this fight, you think, or not?
I think it does. Well, there's you mentioned a bunch of factors that are right. So like Canelo has a better resume. He's fought champions, Caleb Plant doesn't have the resume that Canelo has. He hasn't fought. He's defended his title 4 times, where Canelo's fought in 4 different divisions, fought in all the badasses, So his resume is it's good. It's great. It's like, so the experience over that. And then not only that, you look at the way and you look at the press conferences, Caleb Plant's not used to that kind of stuff, Yesterday, he's just like, they're booing him. He's just not used to crowds like that, like electrifying, freaking insane, So he's not used to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. My whole thing is this is big, right? If Canelo wins, no one's done this, right? He's the super middleweight champion of the world. Like no one's ever done this, correct?
Yeah, 168. And yeah, for all 4 belts he's gonna have, because Caleb Plant's the only one that's holding him back from unifying. Which again, if Caleb Plant wins, if he wins, he takes all of those belts from Canelo, and he's a unified champ now. So
yeah, I like that. There's a lot on the line in this.
Yeah,
one.
there's a lot on the line.
I also love the flex, how in the weigh-in, Plant had his one belt wrapped around, and Canelo was like having his guys situate his belts on him because he didn't have enough room to hold them all.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't really shit talk and point because his belts were weighing him down. I love that, man.
Yeah.
That was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the gambling aspect, do you see any value whatsoever at taking Canelo just right off the rip in the early rounds? Let's say 1 through 6.
It's possible, man. It's possible. It's possible, but from data, okay, it's possible. And if you want to put your money 1 through 6, it's possible if you really feel. I know it sounds silly, and we really don't say gut feeling or whatever, but if you really if you feel confident and you have the money to do that, and you think that's going to happen, but most likely not. If Canelo already said 7 on up, and his trainer already said 7 on up, then unless they're playing possum or whatever you want to call it, and the odds are from data from the past, his past recent knockouts, they're all 7 on up, nothing before 6. His earlier days, yeah, because he was fighting just like some chumps,
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's possible. I don't think he'll get him through 7 through 9 if you put your money on it. He might if they end the fight, it'll probably be like around the 11th round.
Is to play devil's advocate, is there any hope or any chance on betting just straight up Caleb Plant to win this fight at all?
Um, it's hard to say, man. Caleb Plant. So they're fighting in Vegas. You know, for him to win just a money line, it's possible. He's good. He's strong. I don't think there's gonna be a knockout. I think there might be a knockdown, but I don't think there's gonna be a knockout. I think he's gonna hit survival mode. Personally,
Let's talk about that. I've given my opinion. I think I'm taking 7 through 12, and this is kind of where we disagree a little bit. Earlier, you placed a bet earlier in the week, and you sent it on over to me, and you showed me. And go ahead and tell everyone what you got for this fight, Steve.
yeah, it's insane. Some people think I'm crazy, but I think it's gonna go. I'm just betting. If you guys want to do this, you say I'm putting it's going all 12 rounds decision. It's going to the decision. I didn't put Canelo winning or Caleb Plant winning. I think Canelo win by decision, but I'm not going to put that because it's possible there might be a draw. I see this, to be honest with you, this fight is so big and there's so much money. There's going to be a second one. There's on the contract. There's already a rematch clause that they put in place, meaning you obviously have to give each other a rematch after this fight. So unless there's a KO. If there's a KO and stuff like that, then you don't have to. But I see them making money, millions of dollars, and the second one's going to make millions of dollars because it's going to be massive.
So even if there is a KO,
yeah,
do you feel? This is just my opinion. I don't know for sure, but I feel like even if there is a KO, right, there will still be a second one because where does Canelo go from here?
That's what we're trying to figure out. So Canelo wins. He's already saying he might fight in the next division. He might fight this one dude. I forget what his name is, Kelaviv or Belaviv. One of those Ukrainian fighters out in the Eastern European. So he might fight one of those dudes to get that belt, or he might fight Benavides, which is a big fight that they've been trying to make. I don't know. Honestly, he could win this fight and retire, or I don't know what he's gonna do. He's like on top of the world. Like, what else? Who else do you fight?
Yeah.
Who else do you fight? So it's hard to say what's gonna happen after that. So I don't know. He might fight the Charles. He's gonna have a couple more fights, but who knows? I think like he'll just solidify. So I think he's focused on this at the moment, and I really think there's gonna be a second one. So I think they're going all 12 rounds. It's gonna go to decision.
I like I said, I think it ends. I think he gets him, but I think we're all just hopeful for a really good fight.
Oh yeah, a really good fight, a really big fight.
I mean, we didn't talk much about it, but the heavyweight fight, the last one was between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, was absolutely magical. That was a great fight. So, I don't know if this one's gonna, exceed that expectation, but I'm an Alvarez fan. I've always liked him. The first time I ever watched him fight was when he fought Floyd, and he was way too young. I was at my cousin's house. I was like, who is this kid? Because he looked good in that fight, I thought. It just Floyd did Floyd things,
Yeah, he was just too young, But he's, Canelo always said he's grateful for that loss. Like, I mean, it hurt him. He said it sucked, but it made him stronger. Obviously, it made him who he is now.
Yeah,
he's the best pound for pound.
I agree. I enjoyed. I don't think there's any. I don't even think you can dispute that because, like you said, he's moving up. He keeps jumping weight classes with no fear. So it's pretty impressive to see. You know what's interesting, and I can't wait to see the numbers for this because they're going up against UFC tonight. UFC's having big title fights, and so are they. And Dana White's been talking a lot of shit about boxing, saying boxing's dead. I'd like to see the numbers because I think boxing's going to win tonight.
Yeah, I wonder why they do. They always have the dispute. They always have to argue about put the same date. They could have just switched it up, But,
yeah, it's just because Dana White he's obsessed with money and his own money. Yeah, right. He's like, well, the fighters don't tell you how much they make. It's like, okay, but why don't he's like, it's not my job to. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
don't know.
That's a whole different issue. But
Yeah, that's a whole different freaking issue. Those guys.
so one last time, I'm gonna take Alvarez. I'm gonna take him 7 through 12. Steve, you're
That's a good
taking
bet.
him.
I'm betting on it's going to the distance.
Yeah, and that literally that bet is just called will it go the distance? It has actually skyrocketed, Steve. You took it, you locked it in at plus 192. I'm not trying to bust your balls.
Yeah,
It's plus 192 now. You took
yeah,
it
I
at
did 150.
150. Sorry, I said 192 twice because I was looking at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, thanks for joining us. And stay tuned, guys. Coming up after this, we're gonna do a little F1. They're over in Mexico. So we're gonna talk about that one coming up. Steve, thank you as always, man. Loved having you.
All right. Awesome. See you guys. Thanks for having me.
I hit the wrong button. We're out of here. Remember, you can't bitch if you don't bet.
Do I leave this or do I?
All right. Now we bring in Eric.